Australia is a country located in the southern hemisphere, comprising the mainland of the Australian continent, the island of Tasmania, and numerous smaller islands. It is the world's sixth largest country by total area and has the world's largest coral reef system, the Great Barrier Reef. The country is known for its unique and diverse landscapes, including forests, deserts, and beaches. Australia has a rich and fascinating history that dates back to at least 60,000 years ago when Indigenous Australians first arrived on the continent. The Indigenous Australians were hunters and gatherers and had a deep connection to the land and their spiritual beliefs. They lived in harmony with nature and developed a rich cultural heritage that continues to this day. In 1770, British navigator Captain James Cook claimed Australia for Britain, and in 1788, the first fleet of convicts arrived to establish a penal colony in Sydney. Over the next century, the colony grew and expanded, and in 1901, Australia became a federation of 6 states and 2 territories, with the capital in Canberra. Throughout the 20th century, Australia continued to develop and grow, becoming a major player in both World War I and World War II. After the war, Australia experienced a period of prosperity and growth, becoming a significant industrial and agricultural producer. In the latter part of the 20th century, the country became more diverse and multicultural, with a large influx of immigrants from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Today, Australia is a prosperous and thriving nation, with a strong economy and a high standard of living. It is a country with a rich cultural heritage, a strong sense of national identity, and a commitment to diversity and inclusion. Despite its distance from other major continents, Australia has maintained close relationships with its neighbors, including New Zealand, Indonesia, and the Pacific Island nations. Australia is a unique and fascinating country with a rich history, a diverse population, and a strong economy. Its landscapes, culture, and people make it an amazing place to visit, live, and explore. Brazil is the largest country in South America and the 5th largest country in the world, both by land area and population. The country is known for its diverse culture, stunning natural beauty, and rich history. The official language of Brazil is Portuguese and its capital is Brasilia. The history of Brazil can be traced back to the arrival of Portuguese explorers in the early 1500s. The Portuguese claimed Brazil as a colony and began a process of colonization and enslavement of the indigenous peoples. Over the next few centuries, Brazil was shaped by European influences, as well as the slave trade, which brought millions of Africans to the country to work in the mines and on plantations. In 1822, Brazil declared its independence from Portugal and became an empire under the rule of Emperor Pedro I. However, this period was marked by political turmoil and economic instability. In 1889, a republic was established and the country began to modernize, with the construction of new infrastructure, including roads, ports, and railroads. During the 20th century, Brazil experienced rapid economic growth, driven by its rich natural resources and a growing population. However, this growth was not without its challenges. The country has a long history of political and economic inequality, with a large divide between the wealthy and the poor. This has led to social unrest and political instability, as well as persistent poverty and inequality. In recent years, Brazil has taken steps to address these issues, including implementing policies aimed at reducing poverty and inequality, and promoting sustainable economic growth. Despite these challenges, Brazil remains an important player on the global stage. The country is a major producer of commodities, including soybeans, coffee, and iron ore, and is home to a large and growing middle class. It is also known for its vibrant culture, with a rich tradition of music, dance, and festivals. including the famous Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. Brazil is a country with a rich and complex history, shaped by European colonization, slavery, and modernization. Today, it is a rapidly growing country with a diverse culture, stunning natural beauty, and a vibrant economy. Despite persistent challenges, Brazil remains an important player on the global stage, and a country with a rich and proud history. Brunei is a small but affluent country located on the island of Borneo in Southeast Asia. It is bordered by the South China Sea to the north and the Malaysian state of Sarawak to the south and west. The country is known for its rich history, natural beauty, and thriving oil and gas industry. The history of Brunei dates back to the 6th century, when it was known as a powerful sultanate that controlled large parts of Borneo and the surrounding islands. For centuries, the Bruneian Empire was a major player in regional trade and commerce, with a well-established network of alliances and treaties. During the 16th and 17th centuries, Brunei faced a number of challenges, including European colonization, piracy, and internal conflict, which weakened its power and influence. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Brunei became a British protectorate, and its economy was largely based on agriculture and forestry. However, the discovery of oil and natural gas reserves in the 1920s transformed Brunei into one of the wealthiest nations in Southeast Asia. Today, the oil and gas sector continues to drive the country's economy and provide a high standard of living for its residents. Brunei is also known for its rich cultural heritage and Islamic traditions. The country is an Islamic monarchy, and the Sultan of Brunei is both the head of state and the head of government. The royal family has played a central role in Brunei's history, and the Sultan is revered as a symbol of stability and continuity in the country. In recent years, Brunei has made efforts to diversify its economy and reduce its dependence on oil and gas. The government has invested in education, tourism, and other industries, and has also established a number of free trade zones to attract foreign investment. Despite these efforts, however, the country's reliance on the oil and gas sector remains a challenge, and many experts believe that Brunei will need to continue its efforts to diversify its economy in order to ensure long-term stability and prosperity. In conclusion, Brunei is a fascinating country with a rich history and a unique cultural heritage. Its location on the island of Borneo and its natural beauty make it an attractive destination for tourists, and its oil and gas industry continues to drive its economy. However, the country faces challenges in the years ahead, and will need to continue its efforts to diversify its economy in order to ensure long-term stability and prosperity. Cambodia is a country located in Southeast Asia and is known for its rich cultural heritage, stunning natural beauty, and dark history. Its capital and largest city is Phnom Penh, which is located in the southwestern part of the country. Cambodia has a population of approximately 16 million people, who are predominantly of Khmer ethnicity. The official language is Khmer, and the country has a predominantly Theravada Buddhist culture. Cambodia has a long and rich history, dating back to the 9th century when the Khmer Empire ruled over much of Southeast Asia. During this time, the Khmer built impressive architectural feats such as the Angkor Wat Temple complex, which is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. However, the country's recent history has been marked by war and political instability, including the genocidal rule of the Khmer Rouge in the late 1970s. Despite its tumultuous history, Cambodia has made significant progress in recent years, with a growing economy and improved infrastructure. The country is now a popular tourist destination, with visitors drawn to its stunning temples, bustling cities, and breathtaking natural scenery, including the Tonle Sap Lake, the Cardamom Mountains, and the pristine beaches of the southern coast. Tourism is a major contributor to Cambodia's economy, along with agriculture, garment production, and construction. The government has been working to attract foreign investment and improve the business environment, with the goal of further boosting economic growth. However, despite its progress, Cambodia continues to face significant challenges, including poverty, corruption, and a lack of human rights. The government has been criticized for its restrictions on free speech and political opposition, and the country has a history of political violence. Overall, Cambodia is a fascinating country with a rich history and culture, stunning natural beauty, and a rapidly growing economy. Despite its challenges, it offers many opportunities for travelers, investors, and those looking to learn about its unique heritage. Canada is a country located in North America and is the second largest country in the world by area. It is bordered to the north by the Arctic Ocean, to the east by the Atlantic Ocean, to the south by the United States, and to the west by the Pacific Ocean. The country spans 6 time zones and has a diverse landscape, including the Rocky Mountains, rolling prairies, and vast forests. The history of Canada can be traced back to the arrival of Indigenous peoples, who have lived on the land for thousands of years. European exploration of the area began in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, with the arrival of French and British explorers. The French established settlements in what is now Quebec, while the British established colonies in what is now Ontario. In 1763, the Treaty of Paris was signed, which saw France cede its territories in Canada to the British. The country continued to be a British colony for over a century, until Confederation in 1867, when the Dominion of Canada was formed. This marked the birth of the country as an independent nation, with its own government and distinct identity. Throughout the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Canada continued to grow and develop, with the expansion of its borders, the building of the Canadian Pacific Railway, and the growth of industry and commerce. In 1949, Canada became a founding member of NATO, solidifying its role as a significant player on the international stage. The second half of the 20th century was marked by significant social and political changes, including the Quiet Revolution in Quebec, the adoption of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and the increasing recognition of the rights of Indigenous peoples. Today, Canada is known for its strong economy, high standard of living, and multicultural society, and is widely regarded as one of the most desirable places to live in the world. Canada's rich history is marked by the contributions of Indigenous peoples, European explorers and settlers, and generations of immigrants from around the world. From its early beginnings as a British colony to its current status as a prosperous and inclusive nation, Canada has evolved and grown, always working towards a brighter future for its citizens and the world. China is a country located in East Asia, and is the most populous country in the world with a population of approximately 1.4 billion people. It has a long and rich cultural history dating back to ancient times and has been a major center of trade and commerce for centuries. Today, China is one of the largest economies in the world and is known for its rapid industrialization and technological advancements. Geography and climate. China covers a vast area of land, covering approximately 9.6 million square kilometers. The country is home to a diverse range of landscapes including deserts, plateaus, mountains, and forests. Some of the major mountain ranges include the Himalayas, Kunlun Mountains, and the Tian Shan Mountains. The Yangtze River is the longest river in China and is an important source of water and transportation. The climate of China varies greatly depending on the region, with the northern part of the country experiencing a continental climate, while the southern part of the country has a tropical climate. The country experiences 4 distinct seasons, including a hot and humid summer, a cool and dry autumn, a cold and dry winter, and a warm and rainy spring. History and culture. China has a long and rich history that dates back to the Neolithic period, when early humans began to settle in the area. Throughout its history, China has been ruled by various dynasties and has experienced periods of expansion and growth, as well as times of turmoil and instability. The most recent dynasty was the Qing dynasty, which ruled from 1644 to 1912, when the country became a republic. Chinese culture is rich and diverse, with a long history of art, literature, music, and philosophy. The country is famous for its unique traditions and customs, including the practice of tea ceremony, the art of calligraphy, and the traditional Chinese lunar calendar. Additionally, China is known for its delicious cuisine, which is renowned for its use of fresh ingredients, intricate preparation techniques, and diverse range of flavors. Economy. China has experienced rapid economic growth in recent years, and is now one of the largest economies in the world. The country has been able to achieve this through a combination of foreign investment, domestic entrepreneurship, and government policies that have encouraged economic growth. Today, China is a major exporter of goods, including electronics, machinery, and textiles, and is also a significant player in the global financial market. China is a country that is rich in history, culture, and economic power. Its people have a proud heritage and are deeply connected to their traditions and customs. Today, China is a modern and rapidly developing nation, and is poised to play a significant role in shaping the future of the world. Whether you are interested in its history, culture, or economy, China is a fascinating and complex country that is well worth exploring. India is a country located in South Asia and is the 7th largest country by land area and the 2nd most populous country in the world. It is bordered by Pakistan to the west, China and Nepal to the north, Bhutan to the northeast, and Bangladesh and Myanmar to the east. To the south of India is the Indian Ocean. The history of India is rich and diverse, dating back to prehistoric times. The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the oldest in the world, flourished in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent from 3300 BCE to 1300 BCE. Over the centuries, India was ruled by numerous dynasties and empires, including the Maurya Empire, which was founded by Emperor Ashoka and became the dominant power in the Indian subcontinent from the 3rd century BCE to the 18th century CE. During the medieval period, the Mughal Empire dominated India, with its peak reached under Emperor Akbar the Great in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. The Mughal Empire was followed by the British East India Company, which established control over much of India in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. The Indian independence movement, led by figures such as Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru, eventually resulted in India's independence from British rule in 1947. India is a federal parliamentary democratic republic and is considered one of the fastest-growing major economies in the world. Despite challenges, including poverty, corruption, and ongoing conflicts with neighboring countries, India has made significant progress in recent years and is considered a regional power and a potential superpower. The culture of India is incredibly diverse and is influenced by a variety of religious and ethnic traditions. Hinduism is the largest religion in India, followed by Islam, Christianity, and Buddhism. India is also known for its rich history of literature, art, music, and cuisine, as well as its contributions to science and technology. In conclusion, India is a country with a rich history and cultural heritage, and continues to play a significant role on the global stage. Despite its challenges, India remains one of the most populous and diverse countries in the world, and its future is bright. Japan, also known as the Land of the Rising Sun, is a country located in the Pacific Ocean, in the eastern part of Asia. With its advanced technology, rich culture, and stunning natural scenery, Japan has become one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. The country is made up of 4 main islands: Honshu, Hokkaido, Shikoku, and Kyushu, as well as many smaller islands. Japan has a long and rich history, dating back to the Jomon period, 14,000 BC 300 BC. When the country was inhabited by indigenous people who made pottery and lived as hunter-gatherers. During the 7th century, Japan saw the rise of the Yamato dynasty, which marked the beginning of Japan's imperial rule. In the following centuries, Japan underwent several political, social, and economic changes, including the establishment of the shogunate system in the 12th century, which lasted until the late 19th century. In the late 19th century, Japan underwent a period of modernization and westernization, which brought about significant changes in its society, economy, and politics. During this time, Japan became a major world power and expanded its territories through imperialism. The country entered World War II in the early 1940s and suffered significant damage from Allied bombings and a devastating defeat in 1945. After World War II, Japan underwent a period of rapid economic growth and modernization, becoming one of the world's largest economies by the end of the 20th century. Today, Japan is known for its cutting-edge technology, high standard of living, and unique culture, which blends ancient traditions with modern innovations. Japan is a constitutional monarchy, with the Emperor of Japan serving as the symbolic head of state. The country is divided into 47 prefectures, each with its own government. The government of Japan is composed of 3 branches: the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. The country has a strong economy, with industries such as automobiles, electronics, and steel manufacturing playing a significant role in its economy. Japan is also known for its rich culture and heritage, which is evident in its art, architecture, music, and cuisine. The country is home to numerous cultural sites and landmarks, including ancient shrines and temples, historical castles, and traditional gardens. Japan is also famous for its anime, manga, and video games, which have become increasingly popular around the world. In conclusion, Japan is a country with a rich and fascinating history, a thriving economy, and a unique and vibrant culture. Its blend of ancient traditions and modern innovations, combined with its stunning natural scenery, make it a must-visit destination for anyone interested in learning about one of the world's most fascinating cultures. Laos, officially known as the Lao People's Democratic Republic, is a landlocked country in Southeast Asia, bordered by Myanmar to the northwest, China to the northeast, Vietnam to the east, Cambodia to the southeast, and Thailand to the west and southwest. The country covers an area of 236,800 square kilometers and has a population of approximately 7 million people. The capital city of Laos is Vientiane, and other major cities include Luang Prabang, Savannakhet, and Paksi. Laos has a rich cultural heritage, with a history that dates back to the 14th century when the Lan Xang Kingdom was established. Over the centuries, Laos was ruled by various kingdoms and empires until it became a French protectorate in the late 19th century. In 1975, Laos became a communist state and has been ruled by the Lao People's Revolutionary Party ever since. Despite this, the country has undergone significant economic reforms in recent decades and has made great strides in poverty reduction and economic growth. The official language of Laos is Lao, and the country is predominantly Buddhist, with a significant minority of ethnic minorities who practice animism and other traditional beliefs. Laotian cuisine is a fusion of traditional Southeast Asian flavors, with an emphasis on rice, vegetables, and grilled or steamed meats. Laotian dishes are known for their balance of salty, sweet, sour, and spicy flavors, and the use of fresh herbs and spices. Laos is famous for its natural beauty and is often referred to as the land of a million elephants. The country is home to a diverse range of ecosystems, including forests, savannas, and wetlands, as well as many unique species of wildlife, including elephants, tigers, and monkeys. The country is also home to numerous stunning waterfalls, caves, and other natural attractions, making it a popular destination for ecotourism. In recent years, Laos has become increasingly integrated into the global economy, with growing trade and investment links with neighboring countries, as well as with the rest of Asia and the world. Despite this, Laos remains one of the poorest countries in Asia, with significant challenges in terms of poverty, health, and education. Nevertheless, the country has made great progress in these areas in recent decades, and the government is committed to continuing this progress through investment in infrastructure, education, and human development. In conclusion, Laos is a fascinating and unique country, with a rich cultural heritage, beautiful landscapes, and a friendly and hospitable people. Despite its many challenges, Laos is poised to continue its path of growth and development, and is sure to be an exciting place to watch in the coming years. Morocco is a country located in North Africa, bordered by the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea to the west and north, respectively, and by Algeria to the east and southeast. With a rich history spanning thousands of years, Morocco has been a melting pot of cultures and civilizations, and has been influenced by Berber, African, Arabian, and European civilizations throughout its history. The earliest known civilization in Morocco was the Berber people, who have inhabited the region for thousands of years. In the 8th century, the Arab conquerors brought Islam to Morocco and established the country as a center of learning and culture. The Berber dynasties of the Almoravids and the Almohads followed, bringing stability and prosperity to the region. In the late 16th century, Morocco became a major player in the international arena when it became the first country to recognize the United States as an independent nation. During this time, Morocco was ruled by the powerful Alawite dynasty, which established the country as a dominant power in the region. In the 19th and 20th centuries, Morocco was occupied by France and Spain, and it was not until 1956 that the country gained independence. Since then, Morocco has undergone significant economic and political reforms, and has become a leading player in the region. With a strong economy and a stable government, one of the most distinctive features of Morocco is its unique architecture, which reflects the country's rich history and cultural heritage. The country is famous for its historic cities such as Fez, Marrakech, and Casablanca, which are renowned for their beautiful palaces, mosques, and markets. In recent years, Morocco has become a popular tourist destination, attracting millions of visitors each year with its stunning natural beauty, rich cultural heritage, and vibrant cities. Whether you are interested in exploring the country's rich history, experiencing its vibrant culture, or simply relaxing on its beautiful beaches, Morocco is sure to leave a lasting impression. Overall, Morocco is a country with a rich and diverse history, and a culture that is deeply intertwined with its natural beauty and vibrant cities. Whether you are interested in exploring its historic sites, experiencing its traditional customs, or simply soaking up the local atmosphere, Morocco is sure to leave a lasting impression on anyone who visits. Qatar is a small Arabian peninsula located on the northeastern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, bordered by Saudi Arabia to the south and the Persian Gulf to the north, east, and west. The country has a total area of 11,586 square kilometers and a population of approximately 2.9 million people. Despite its small size, Qatar is a wealthy nation, with a strong economy driven by its vast oil and natural gas reserves. The history of Qatar can be traced back to the early days of human civilization, with evidence of human habitation in the area dating back thousands of years. During the Islamic period, Qatar was part of the larger Arabian Peninsula and was ruled by a variety of tribal leaders and local sheikhs. In the late 19th century, the Al Thani family took control of the region and established a hereditary monarchy that has ruled Qatar to this day. During the 20th century, Qatar's fortunes were largely tied to its vast oil and natural gas reserves. In 1949, the first oil wells were discovered in the country, and over the next few decades, Qatar rapidly transformed into a major player in the global oil market. The country's wealth allowed it to invest heavily in infrastructure and social services, and by the turn of the 21st century, Qatar had become one of the wealthiest nations in the world, with a high standard of living and a rapidly modernizing economy. Despite its wealth, Qatar has faced a number of challenges in recent years. In the 1990s, a boundary dispute with Bahrain was resolved with the help of Saudi Arabia, and the two countries now have a close relationship. In addition, Qatar has faced criticism from some quarters for its support of radical Islamist groups, and the country has been accused of providing a safe haven for terrorists. However, Qatar has taken steps to address these concerns, and in recent years, it has become increasingly involved in international diplomacy, serving as a mediator in conflicts in the Middle East and beyond. Overall, Qatar is a fascinating country with a rich history and a promising future. Despite its small size, it plays a significant role in the global economy, and its modern, rapidly developing society provides a glimpse into the future of the Arabian Peninsula. Whether you're interested in history, politics, business, or just learning about new cultures, Qatar is a destination worth exploring. Russia is the largest country in the world, located in northern Eurasia, spanning from Eastern Europe to northern Asia. It is bordered by Norway and Finland to the northwest, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania to the west, Poland, Belarus, and Ukraine to the southwest, Georgia and Azerbaijan to the south, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and China to the southeast, and the Arctic Ocean to the north. Russia covers over 17 million square kilometers and has a population of approximately 144 million people. Russia has a rich and diverse history that spans over 1,000 years. The earliest human settlement in Russia dates back to the Neolithic period, around 12,000 years ago. In the 9th century, the East Slavs established the first East Slavic state, Kievan Rus. This state became the dominant power in Eastern Europe and eventually gave rise to the Russian Orthodox Church. In the late 12th century, the Mongol Empire conquered Kievan Rus and ruled over Russia for several centuries. In the late 14th century, Moscow emerged as the leading power in Russia and became the capital of the Grand Duchy of Moscow. This state eventually expanded to become the Tsardom of Russia, and later, the Russian Empire. During the reign of Peter the Great in the early 18th century, Russia became a major European power and expanded its territories through conquest and diplomacy. The Russian Revolution of 1917 saw the collapse of the Russian Empire and the establishment of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was ruled by the Communist Party and became one of the two superpowers of the world, along with the United States. The Soviet era was marked by rapid industrialization, collectivization of agriculture, and widespread repression. The Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, and Russia became an independent country once again. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia has undergone significant political, economic, and social changes. In the 1990s, Russia underwent a period of rapid privatization and market liberalization. But these reforms were not without their challenges. In the early 2000s, Russia underwent a period of political stability and economic growth under President Vladimir Putin. However, in recent years, tensions have risen between Russia and the West, particularly over issues such as the conflict in Ukraine and allegations of Russian interference in foreign elections. Despite its challenges, Russia remains a major world power and a country with a rich and fascinating history. Its contributions to world culture and science, from literature and music to space exploration and nuclear physics, are widely recognized and celebrated. Thailand, officially known as the Kingdom of Thailand, is a country located in Southeast Asia. It is bordered to the north by Myanmar and Laos, to the east by Laos and Cambodia, to the south by the Gulf of Thailand and Malaysia, and to the west by the Andaman Sea and Myanmar. The capital and largest city of Thailand is Bangkok, which is also one of the largest cities in Southeast Asia. History. The history of Thailand dates back to the 13th century when it was known as the Kingdom of Siam. Over the centuries, Thailand has experienced a number of political and cultural changes, including the establishment of a constitutional monarchy in 1932 and the transition to a democratic system of government in the late 20th century. Despite these changes, the Thai monarchy remains an important symbol of national identity and unity, and is deeply revered by the Thai people. Culture. Thailand is a culturally rich and diverse country, with a long history of Buddhist tradition and influences from neighboring countries such as India and China. The traditional Thai way of life, known as Sanuk, places a strong emphasis on community, hospitality, and a relaxed, easygoing approach to life. This is reflected in the Thai people's famous hospitality and their love for festivals and celebrations, which are often marked by colorful and elaborate ceremonies, dance performances, and delicious food. Economy. Thailand has a rapidly growing economy and is one of the largest economies in Southeast Asia. The country is a major exporter of goods such as rice, rubber, and textiles, and is also a popular tourist destination, attracting millions of visitors every year. The tourism industry is a major contributor to the Thai economy, providing employment for many Thais and generating substantial revenue for the country. Geography. Thailand is a predominantly tropical country, with warm temperatures and high humidity throughout the year. The country is divided into four main regions: the Central Plains, the Northeastern Plateau, the Northern Mountains, and the Southern Peninsula. Each region has its own unique climate, geography, and cultural traditions. In addition to its stunning natural beauty, Thailand is also home to a number of important cultural and historic sites, including ancient temples and palaces, Buddhist shrines, and historic cities. In conclusion, Thailand is a fascinating and dynamic country with a rich history and culture. Its warm and welcoming people, beautiful landscapes, and thriving economy make it a popular destination for tourists and a valuable partner on the global stage. Whether you are interested in its history and culture, its natural beauty, or its economic opportunities, Thailand has something for everyone. The United States of America, USA, is a country located in North America, bordered by Canada to the north and Mexico to the south. The United States is one of the world's most powerful and influential nations, and is renowned for its rich cultural heritage, diverse landscape, and strong economy. With a population of over 328 million people, the USA is the third most populous country in the world. The history of the United States is a story of bravery, determination, and perseverance. The first inhabitants of the land were indigenous peoples, who lived here for thousands of years before the arrival of European settlers in the late 15th and early 16th centuries. The first successful English colony was established in Virginia in 1607, and the 13 British colonies along the Atlantic coast declared independence from Britain in 1776. The American Revolution marked the birth of the United States as a nation, and the country went on to become a leading player in world affairs. Throughout its history, the United States has faced numerous challenges, including civil war, economic depression, and 2 world wars. However, through it all, the American people have remained resilient and have worked tirelessly to build a better future for themselves and for the world. Today, the United States is a leader in technology, medicine, and the arts, and is home to some of the world's most prestigious universities, museums, and cultural institutions. One of the defining characteristics of the United States is its commitment to freedom and democracy. The country was founded on the principles of individual liberty, equality, and justice. And these values continue to guide American society today. The U.S. Constitution, which was ratified in 1787, is the supreme law of the land, and protects the rights of all Americans. The country's political system is based on the principle of checks and balances, and features a separation of powers between the legislative, executive, and judicial branches of government. In conclusion, the United States of America is a remarkable country with a rich and fascinating history. From its humble beginnings as a group of colonies on the Atlantic coast, to its current position as a global superpower, the USA has always been a place of opportunity, hope, and progress. Whether you are a student of history, a lover of culture, or simply someone looking for a better life, the United States is a place like no other, and one that will continue to shape the world for generations to come. Ukraine is a country located in Eastern Europe and is the second largest country in Europe after Russia. It is bordered by Russia to the east and northeast, Belarus to the north, Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary to the west, and Romania and Moldova to the southwest. The Black Sea is located to the south of Ukraine. The country has a population of approximately 42 million people, and its capital and largest city is Kyiv, also known as Kiev. The history of Ukraine dates back to the 9th century when the state of Kievan Rus was established. This state was ruled by the Varangians and was a major center of Eastern Slavic culture, trade, and politics. In the 13th century, the Mongols invaded and destroyed the state of Kievan Rus, leading to the fragmentation of the territory into smaller principalities. In the 14th century, the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and the Kingdom of Poland formed a union and incorporated much of the territory of modern-day Ukraine into their territories. During the 16th and 17th centuries, the Cossacks emerged as a distinct cultural and political group in Ukraine and became a significant force in the region. In the late 17th century, the Ottoman Empire and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth divided the territory of Ukraine between them. In the late 18th century, The Russian Empire annexed much of the territory of Ukraine and the country became a part of the Russian Empire. In the early 20th century, Ukraine declared independence from the Russian Empire following the October Revolution, but this independence was short-lived and was eventually incorporated into the Soviet Union. During World War II, Ukraine was occupied by Nazi Germany and suffered significant losses, including the Holodomor, a man-made famine that resulted in the deaths of millions of Ukrainians. After the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, Ukraine declared independence and became an independent country. In recent years, Ukraine has faced many challenges, including political instability, economic turmoil, and conflict with Russia. In 2014, the Euromaidan Revolution took place in Kyiv, leading to the ouster of the country's president and the formation of a new government. The conflict with Russia in the eastern regions of Ukraine, known as the Donbass War, continues to this day. Despite the challenges, Ukraine has made significant progress in recent years and has taken steps towards integration with Europe. The country has signed several agreements with the European Union and is working towards further integration with Europe. The country has also made significant strides in reforming its economy and institutions, and is working towards building a more democratic and prosperous future. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, is a country located in the southeast end of the Arabian Peninsula, bordered by the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf. It is comprised of 7 emirates: Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Ras Al Khaimah, and Fujairah. The UAE has a rich history dating back to the Bronze Age, with evidence of human habitation in the area as far back as 5000 BCE. The region was known for its production of pearls and was a center of trade between East and West, attracting merchants from as far as China and Europe. In the late 19th century, the discovery of oil transformed the UAE into a major player in the global energy market. In the 1960s and 1970s, the UAE was a British protectorate and underwent a period of modernization and transformation. The country gained independence from Britain in 1971 and, following the formation of the UAE, the country's oil wealth was used to finance development projects and to build the infrastructure that has helped establish the UAE as a major global hub for trade, tourism, and finance. Today, the UAE is one of the wealthiest countries in the world and is known for its modern and progressive outlook. The country is home to some of the most iconic structures in the world, including the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, and the Burj Al Arab, one of the world's most luxurious hotels. The UAE is also a major tourist destination, attracting millions of visitors each year with its world-class shopping, dining, and entertainment offerings. The country has a diverse and multicultural population, with a majority of expatriates from around the world, including India, the Philippines, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Egypt. The UAE has a federal system of government, with each emirate governed by its own ruler. Abu Dhabi is the capital of the UAE and is home to the country's president and the headquarters of its government. In recent years, the UAE has taken major steps towards diversifying its economy and reducing its dependence on oil. The country has invested heavily in alternative energy sources and has become a leader in the development of solar and nuclear energy. The UAE has also become a major player in the field of space exploration and is working to establish a presence on Mars by the year 2117. The UAE is a country that has undergone tremendous transformation in a relatively short period of time, and its history is marked by a strong determination to modernize, diversify, and build a thriving and sustainable future. Despite its rapid development, The country remains deeply rooted in its cultural and religious heritage and is proud of its unique identity and its place in the world. Venezuela is a country located on the northern coast of South America. It is bordered by Colombia to the west, Guyana to the east, and Brazil to the south. The country covers an area of approximately 916,445 square kilometers and has a population of approximately 28 million people. The capital city of Venezuela is Caracas, which is also its largest city. Venezuela has a rich and diverse history, dating back to the pre-Columbian era. The indigenous people of Venezuela, known as the Caribs, were the first to inhabit the region. They were eventually replaced by the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century, who established colonial rule over the region. The country gained independence from Spain in 1821. And since then it has experienced a tumultuous history marked by political instability, economic struggles, and periods of dictatorship. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, Venezuela underwent a period of economic growth, driven by its thriving oil industry. The country became one of the largest exporters of oil in the world and its economy boomed. However, this prosperity was short-lived, and by the mid-20th century, Venezuela was facing economic difficulties and political unrest. In 1958, the country underwent a political transformation when military leader and Democrat, Romulo Betancourt, became the president. This marked the beginning of a period of democratic governance in Venezuela, which lasted until the late 20th century. During this time, the country underwent significant social and economic reforms, and it became one of the most prosperous countries in South America. In the late 20th and early 21st centuries, Venezuela experienced a period of political and economic instability, marked by corruption, political corruption, and economic mismanagement. The country was further hit by the collapse of oil prices in 2014, which had a significant impact on the economy. This led to widespread poverty and shortages of basic goods, including food and medicine. Today, Venezuela is facing a political and economic crisis, with ongoing conflicts between the government and opposition groups. The country remains one of the poorest in South America, and its people are facing difficult living conditions, including widespread poverty, hunger, and disease. Despite these challenges, however, Venezuela remains a country with a rich culture and a proud history, and it continues to be an important player in regional and global affairs. Vietnam is a country located in Southeast Asia and is bordered by China to the north, Laos to the northwest, Cambodia to the southwest, and the South China Sea to the east and southeast. With a population of approximately 97 million people, Vietnam is the 13th most populous country in the world. It has a rich cultural heritage and a long history, dating back to the ancient kingdoms of the Red River Delta, which were established in the 2nd century BCE. Over the centuries, Vietnam has been invaded and ruled by various foreign powers, including China, France, and the United States. Despite these challenges, the Vietnamese people have maintained their cultural traditions and have developed a strong sense of national identity. In 1975, after a long and difficult war, Vietnam was reunified under the communist government and became the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Today, Vietnam is a rapidly developing country with a rapidly growing economy. The country is one of the most dynamic and fastest-growing economies in Southeast Asia, with a growth rate of around 7% per year. It is a leading producer of rice, coffee, rubber, and tea, and is also rapidly expanding its manufacturing sector, particularly in the areas of electronics and textiles. In recent years, Vietnam has also emerged as a popular tourist destination. attracting millions of visitors each year with its beautiful scenery, rich cultural heritage, and friendly people. The country is known for its beautiful landscapes, including the lush mountains of the north, the stunning beaches of the south, and the iconic rice paddies of the central region. Visitors can also explore its many cultural attractions, including the ancient city of Hue, the bustling metropolis of Ho Chi Minh City, and the historic Old Quarter of Hanoi. Despite its rapid development, Vietnam remains a country with significant social and economic challenges. Many people still live in poverty, and there are significant disparities between the rich and poor. The government is taking steps to address these challenges, including investing in education and healthcare, and promoting sustainable economic growth. In conclusion, Vietnam is a fascinating country with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a rapidly developing economy. Despite its challenges, it is a country that is poised for a bright future, and is well worth visiting for anyone interested in learning more about Southeast Asia and its people. South Korea, officially known as the Republic of Korea, is a country located in East Asia. It is bordered by North Korea to the north, the Sea of Japan to the east, the Yellow Sea to the west, and the East China Sea to the south. South Korea is a developed country with a high-income mixed economy, a highly educated and skilled workforce, and a high standard of living. The history of South Korea can be traced back to the Three Kingdoms period, which began in the 1st century BC. During this period, the three kingdoms of Goguryeo, Baekje, and Silla fought for control of the Korean peninsula. Silla emerged as the dominant kingdom and established the unified Silla dynasty in 668 AD. This was followed by the Goryeo dynasty, which ruled from 918 to 1392, and the Joseon dynasty, which ruled from 1392 to 1910. In 1910, Japan annexed Korea and ruled the country as a colony until the end of World War II in 1945. After the war, the country was divided into two separate states, North Korea and South Korea, with the Soviet-backed North becoming communist and the US-backed South becoming democratic. In 1950, the Korean War broke out, with the North invading the South. The war ended in 1953 with an armistice agreement, but no formal peace treaty was signed, leaving the two countries technically at war to this day. After the war, South Korea underwent a period of rapid economic development and modernization, becoming one of the so-called Asian tigers. The country's economy grew rapidly, and South Korea became a major player in the global economy, with leading industries in electronics, automobiles, steel, and shipbuilding. The country has also made significant progress in areas such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure, becoming a highly developed and prosperous country. In recent years, South Korea has become a major player in international affairs and has worked to establish itself as a leader in the region. The country has also made efforts to improve relations with North Korea, and has been involved in a number of initiatives aimed at promoting peace and stability on the Korean peninsula. Despite its rapid development, South Korea still faces a number of challenges, including an aging population, income inequality, and the threat of North Korean aggression. However, the country remains one of the most developed and prosperous in the region, and is widely recognized for its innovative and dynamic economy, as well as its rich cultural heritage and vibrant society. Singapore is a small island city-state located in Southeast Asia, bordered by Malaysia to the north and Indonesia to the south, with a land area of 728.3 square kilometers. It is one of the smallest countries in the world but is also one of the most economically developed and technologically advanced. The city-state is home to a diverse population of more than 5.7 million people, with Chinese, Malay, and Indian communities being the largest ethnic groups. The history of Singapore dates back to the 14th century, when it was a trading port for the Kingdom of Johor. The island was then known as Temasek and was visited by Arab, Chinese, and Indian traders. In the early 19th century, the British established a trading post in Singapore, and it became a crown colony in 1867. During World War II, Singapore fell to the Japanese in 1942 and was occupied for 3 years. After the war, Singapore became part of the British Crown Colony and gained independence in 1959. Singapore's early years as an independent nation were marked by political turmoil and economic difficulties. In 1965, Singapore gained independence from Malaysia and became a republic, with Lee Kuan Yew as its first prime minister. Under his leadership, Singapore transformed itself from a third-world country into a thriving, first-world nation in just a few decades. Lee's policies emphasized economic development, education, and infrastructure, and Singapore became one of the world's leading financial centers. Singapore is known for its strict laws and regulations, which have been instrumental in maintaining social order and promoting economic growth. The country has a parliamentary system of government, with a president serving as the head of state and a prime minister serving as the head of government. The country has a highly educated and skilled workforce, and a thriving economy that is heavily dependent on international trade. Today, Singapore is a modern, cosmopolitan city that offers a high quality of life to its residents. The country is home to world-class shopping, dining, and entertainment, and is a popular tourist destination. Despite its small size, Singapore has a rich cultural heritage and a strong national identity that is shaped by its diverse population and its unique history. The Philippines is a Southeast Asian nation located in the western Pacific Ocean. With a population of over 109 million people, it is the 12th most populous country in the world. The country is composed of more than 7,000 islands, which makes it an archipelago. The capital city of the Philippines is Manila, while its largest city is Quezon City. The history of the Philippines can be traced back to the pre-colonial era, when various indigenous communities lived in the islands. The first known settlers of the Philippines were the Negritos, followed by the Malays. Over time, these communities developed their own unique cultures and traditions, which still influence Filipino culture to this day. In 1521, the Philippines was discovered by Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who was sailing under the flag of Spain. The Spanish soon established colonial rule over the islands and introduced Christianity to the Philippines. Spanish rule lasted for 333 years, until 1898, when the Philippines was ceded to the United States following the Spanish-American War. The Philippines became an American territory, and American rule lasted until 1942, when the country was occupied by the Japanese during World War II. After the war, the Philippines gained independence from the United States on July 4, 1946. Since then, the Philippines has had a complicated political history, marked by periods of authoritarian rule and democratic government. Throughout its history, the Philippines has been shaped by a variety of cultural and historical influences, including Spanish, American, and indigenous cultures. This has created a unique and diverse national identity, reflected in the country's cuisine, language, music, and arts. Today, the Philippines is a democratic nation with a growing economy and a rich cultural heritage.